listeners, and welcome to episode 98 of the Nigeria Football Weekly podcast. I'm your host, Okoye, and as usual, we'll be rounding up the performances of Nigerian players all over Europe and in certain parts of Africa before touching on the ones to watch, the Nigerian news to watch, and of course, our star boy of the week. Without any further ado, starting with the Premier League as usual. We saw Fulham move up to 6th place in the league so far, so they're having a very, very good season. Iwobi and Bassey continue to start every single game. They both played 90 minutes over on Saturday as Fulham beat Nottingham Forest 1-0, courtesy of a Raul Jimenez penalty. But Fulham were very, very worthy winners in all seriousness. So far so good for the boys. It's good to see their form continue, and hopefully they could take that into the international break. However, before the international break, they've probably got their toughest tie of the season so far. They will be playing Manchester City away on Saturday. So good luck, Iwobi and Bassey, and hopefully you could do Arsenal a favour in that game. So we will continue to monitor. As for Nottingham Forest, Aina did play 90 minutes in that game. Taiwo Awoniyi also got a very rare start in that match as well, but he was taken off at halftime in that 1-0 loss. Very disappointing for Nottingham Forest, especially losing at home. But hopefully we can see them bounce back in their next few games. It doesn't get any easier for them though, because they go to Stamford Bridge to play a very informed Chelsea side. So let's see how Aina will perform, especially considering that he was a Chelsea youth player. So, you know, I'm sure he'll have added motivation. Same for Hudson-Odoi. So hopefully they could get some points on the board. But to be fair, Nottingham Forest not doing too badly. They're currently 10th in the league and going well so far. As for Leicester, Wilfred Ndidi continues to have a very good season, even though Leicester are having an indifferent season. He was not in the squad for the AFL Cup 0-0 draw against Warsaw, which they ended up winning 3-0 on penalties on Tuesday. But then on Saturday, in the 3 p.m. kickoff against Arsenal at the Emirates, Wilfred Ndidi got an assist, got a yellow card, and also scored an unfortunate own goal, which made it 3-2 for Arsenal in stoppage time. To be fair, it was Trossard's goal, which just bobbled off Ndidi and went in. But his assist for James Justin's goal was absolutely superb, man. You have to say James Justin did most of the work, but if he didn't cross it, it wouldn't have happened. Sumptuous volley by James Justin right into the bottom left corner, and honestly, it was a great goal. So let's see how he performs next up. They'll be playing Bournemouth at home on Saturday. And then finally, in terms of the Super Eagles contingent in the Premier League, Aribo is currently playing against Bournemouth tonight. He's just come on for the second half. They're currently losing 3-1. At halftime, it was 3-0. So Aribo was one of the 3 subs that was made because, honestly, Russell Martin and Southampton look like they're going straight down. I'm not going to lie to you. But anyway, since halftime, it's currently 55 minutes gone, so 10 minutes into the second half. And Southampton have managed to get one back, but it pretty much looks like it's going to be a routine win for Bournemouth. But at least Aribo is getting some minutes. In terms of other fixtures involving no Nigerian players in the Prem, we saw Man City go to St. James's Park and get a 1-1 draw. Anthony Gordon salvaged the penalty after a great Josko Vardio goal, opening goal. Chelsea put Brighton to the sword. Cole Palmer with 4 goals. What else is there to say? What a brilliant, amazing footballer. Brentford, they drew 1-1 with West Ham. They scored for another first-minute goal for the 3rd consecutive game. I don't know how they're doing it, but my word, very, very impressive. Brandon Buemo looks like an absolute superstar. Everton finally got their first win of the season. Dwight McNeil with 2 very good goals, and his first goal was absolutely sensational in this one. So shout out to Everton for finally getting some points on the board. We saw Liverpool go to the Molineux and get a 2-1 win over Wolverhampton. Very, very big win for Liverpool, which has taken them to the top of the Premier League. And then we saw Ipswich Town draw 2-2 against Aston Villa yesterday. Ipswich Town look pretty impressive. I must say, they look like the most impressive team out of the promoted side so far. Liam Delap with 2 great goals in that game. And of course, Ollie Watkins has now scored for his 3rd consecutive Premier League game. So he's looking like the Ollie Watkins we remember. And Morgan Rogers, my God, what a player. He came from Man City Academy, so we should not be that surprised. But to see a player just finesse the eye test every time you watch him is really, really impressive to see. And then in the morning of the weekend, Manchester United at Old Trafford got absolutely packed in by Tottenham. 3-0. What is there to say? I just have to laugh at my enemies. Man United, no offense, but I really, really despise your club. And back-to-back home 3-0 losses to your so-called top 6 rivals. Man, I hope Ten Hag stays there forever. But really, really great performance by Tottenham in all seriousness. Another harsh red card by Premier League referee Bruno Fernandes should not have been sent off. But the way I see it, he go touch everybody. Everyone was saying, oh, Declan Rice should have been sent off. Oh, Trossard should have been sent off. Now look at what they're sending people off in the so-called best league in the world. He go touch everybody. So anyway, Man United, Tottenham, well done. I mean, you couldn't do it against Arsenal, but, you know, Man United are easier fish to fry, so to speak. So well done to them in that one. Fixtures to look forward to just before the international break. On Saturday, we see Crystal Palace host Liverpool at 12:13, early kickoff at Sellers Park. And then we have about 3 p.m. kickoff games for your viewing pleasure. Arsenal, we host Southampton at the Emirates. So Aaron Ramsdale's coming back to Arsenal. He better not turn into, I don't know, fucking Gigi Buffon on Saturday. Like, he should just keep drinking in these goals. We'll see Brentford host Wolverhampton, Man City host Fulham in a 3 p.m. kickoff as well. And then West Ham host Ipswich Town, 3 p.m. kickoff. I actually went to the Ruger show yesterday and I saw Kudus and Abdul Fattah at the show. So I was telling them that, man, Nigeria were coming for them, and I was praising Kudus there. He's the one Ghanaian player that I've ever wished would play for the Super Eagles. But anyway, hopefully Kudus would have recharged and he could finally help West Ham to get some wins on the board, because my God, have they been struggling to the start of the season. Leicester also hosts Bournemouth, so hopefully Ndidi can continue his good form and Leicester can finally get a win to start their Premier League season. The late night kickoff on Saturday is Everton hosting Newcastle at Goodison Park. That should be a very tasty game. And then on Sunday, we've got 3 fixtures. Aston Villa host Man United at Villa Park. To be honest with you, I can't say anything else but an Aston Villa win here. And I think it would finally end Ten Hag's career at Man United, because I don't know what they're waiting for. It's just dead man walking, dead team walking. Chelsea hosts Nottingham Forest in 2 p.m. kickoff as well. And then Brighton hosts Tottenham at Amex Stadium. That should be a really good game, to be fair. So look forward to that one. How does the table stack up? The top 3 from last season remain the top 3, just in a different format. Liverpool are currently top with 5 wins out of 6 games so far, so they have 15 points. Manchester City and Arsenal both have 14 points in 2nd and 3rd place, but Man City are ahead of us because they have their goal difference is +8, while ours is +7. Chelsea looking very impressive to start the season. They're currently 4th with 13 points, alongside Aston Villa in 5th with 13 points. So 4 wins from their first 6 games and 1 win, 1 draw and 1 loss each. But of course, Chelsea have scored the most goals in the division so far, so their goal difference is substantially healthier than Aston Villa. And then surprise package so far, Fulham are 6th and Newcastle are 7th, and then Tottenham round up the top 8. In the relegation zone, Crystal Palace are 18th, Southampton are 19th, Wolverhampton are 20th, still no wins, and Leicester City in 17th also have no wins. And the way this game is going for Bournemouth and Southampton are definitely going to end the weekend with no wins. So that's it in terms of the Premier League so far. Quickly, in the Championship, we saw West Brom lose over the weekend. Ajayi and Josh Maja both started, and Josh Maja scored yet again, so he remains the top goal scorer. But West Brom did lose 3-2 to Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. Next up for them, they play Middlesbrough at home tomorrow, and then they play Millwall at home on Saturday, so they should win both games. Watford, who stay in 7th place. Tom Dele-Bashiru played 29 minutes initially in the AFL Cup on Tuesday as Watford lost 2-1 to Man City. They're very unlucky to have a goal disallowed as well. And then over the weekend, he played 90 minutes and scored a late penalty in 84th minutes to earn Watford a 2-1 win over Sunderland. Next up for them, they play Preston away, and then they play Middlesbrough at home on Saturday. I'm not going to bore you with the other Championship players because, to be honest, I know you guys care more about the other leagues. I will say, though, Jamilu Collins played 62 minutes for Cardiff and started the game in their 4-1 loss to Hull City on Saturday. One thing I will mention, though, Victor Moses scored Luton's only goal in their 3-1 loss to Plymouth on Friday. So good to see Victor Moses score on his return, his first goal since he returned to English football, which is really good to see. And also, Mohamed Tijani did get an assist, even though he played only 11 minutes in that game against Luton. So he got an assist in that 3-1 over Luton. So hopefully he could get some more minutes going forward. In Serie A, Adebayo Lookman played 35 minutes and scored a goal in Atalanta's 3-2 loss to Como on Tuesday. I must say, Cesc Fabregas is cooking something delicious with Como. They've now won back-to-back games, both over the weekend and against Atalanta on Tuesday. But Atalanta, a bit of an indifferent start to their season in Serie A so far. They remain in 12th place. But at least Ademola Lookman is still playing well. On Saturday, he also played 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw against Bologna. So they're still scrambling for a win. But next up for them, they play Genoa at home on Saturday. Although, if I am not mistaken, Atalanta will be playing in the Champions League too. So they play Shakhtar Donetsk on Wednesday. Forgive me for that oversight. Maduka Okoye's Udinese, they've now got back-to-back losses, so they're now in 8th place, which is probably where you'd expect them to be. You know, they were the early pace setters, but that was a bit unrealistic. In the Italian Cup, Maduka Okoye was an unused sub because obviously he's the first choice goalkeeper. Udinese beat Serie B Salernitana 3-1, and then he played 90 minutes and made 4 saves as they lost 3-2 to Internazionale on Saturday. So next up, before the international break, we will see Maduka Okoye play against Lecce at home on Saturday, and hopefully he could get some more points on the board. Samuel Chukwueze's AC Milan are in 3rd place. He did come off the bench to play 27 minutes in a 3-0 win over Lecce on Friday. He still needs something to go for him, man. I just wish him well. He just needs one thing to just click. And who knows, it might be tomorrow where AC Milan play Bayer Leverkusen away in the Champions League. So we're going to see Boniface and Tella against Samuel Chukwueze. And then in the league, we'll see AC Milan go away to Fiorentina away on Sunday. So that's going to be a very, very, very tough game for them. But we wish Chukwueze all the best. And then finally in Serie A, Fisare Delibasu played 79 minutes in the Europa League for Lazio in their 3-0 dropping over Dynamo Kiev. He scored an absolutely sensational goal. Like, right foot, he got played through by Vecino. Banged it literally with his right foot, top bins. And then he also got a very sexy assist for Buladia, who's having a very, very good start to his Lazio career. But Marco Baroni needs to explain, because after these great performances from Fisare Delibasu, guess what happened? He was on news sub on yesterday, when Lazio beat Torino 3-2 away. So I'm not sure why Baroni would not reward his good performance. But anyway, let's give it time. But at least when Fisayo gets on the pitch, he is playing well, which is good to see. Next up for Fisayo, they play Nice at home on Thursday in the Europa League. So I'm sure we'll see Fisayo start that game. And then they host Empoli at home on Sunday. So hopefully we'll see Fisayo get some minutes in that game as well. In the Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen were in action against the big boys Bayern Munich away at the Allianz Arena, and they went away with a 1-1 draw, which was pretty good for them. Although they scored the first goal in this game, Pavlovic scored a very, very sexy equalizer. Boniface started the game as usual, and Tella came on for the final 12 minutes. To be fair, Leverkusen, it was good to see them show some defensive solidity. This was a backs-to-the-wall performance from Leverkusen. Their XG, I think, was like 0.14. So Bayern Munich really much dominated the ball and possession and the chances. But a sign of champions where you could go away against your biggest rivals at the moment and get a credible 1-1 draw. So good luck to Leverkusen. As I mentioned earlier, there'll be an action against AC Milan in the Champions League tomorrow. So let's see if Boniface can finally get his first Champions League goal ever, which will be pretty special. And then in the Bundesliga, they play Holstein Kiel on Saturday. So I'd expect Leverkusen to dispatch the newly promoted side, although they are playing well so far to start the season. Kevin Akpoguma, on the other hand, Hoffenheim. He played 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw against Midtjylland in the Europa League last week, Wednesday. But then he played 90 minutes in their 4-3 loss to Werder Bremen on Sunday. So in the league, they're not doing very well, and I think it's a direct consequence of all their games in Europe. So next up for them, they play Dynamo Kiev at home on Thursday, and then they play Stuttgart away. Stuttgart are one of the best teams in the Bundesliga at the moment, so that's going to be a very, very, very tough game for Hoffenheim. And then finally, Frank Rijeka had a bit of a humbling on Saturday. Orban got absolutely thrashed 4-0 by RB Leipzig, and he also got a yellow card. So not his best performance, but his team were pretty shocking, to be fair. So hopefully better days ahead for Frank the Tank. Next up for them, they play Borussia Mönchengladbach at home on Friday, so you'll be expecting a much better performance from Auberg. In La Liga, Chidera Ejike scored his first La Liga goal on Tuesday. It was the winning goal in the final 10 minutes for Sevilla. Iheanacho also started this game as they beat Real Valladolid 2-1, so that was very good to see. Both players also started yesterday on Sunday as Sevilla drew 1-1 against Athletic Bilbao. Although Ejike did not get the assist, he was pretty instrumental in Sevilla's equalizer, and he also has the most successful dribbles in the whole of the top 5 leagues in Europe. Look, we all knew Ejike's main quality is dribbling, but it's good to see him now adding final product to his dribbling. Getting his first La Liga goal, also being very involved in Sevilla's equalizer over the weekend. So long may that continue. Next up for them, they play Real Betis at home on Sunday in the this is one of the biggest derbies in Spain and world football. It's the Seville derby, Real Betis versus Sevilla. They call Seville the frying pan of Spain because it's so hot. And this rivalry is one for the books, you know, especially because usually when Betis are doing well, Sevilla are not doing well, and it's always vice versa. So I'm sure Sevilla would love to make a statement at the Sanchez Pizjuan on Sunday when they host Real Betis, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure GK will be called up for the national team. So hopefully, he could take that good vibes from this game, hopefully, to come into the national team for us. Also, Crisanto Uche for Getafe, he played 80 minutes in their 1-0 loss against Barcelona on Wednesday. But then over the weekend, he started the game as well and had a wonderful display in their 2-0 win over Deportivo Alaves. I like the mentality of this kid, especially after his own useless president came out to try and defend the racism allegations that Crisanto Uche came out to mention. Spain have a big problem with racism. That's why I don't like all this fake love for Yamal and Nico Williams. Why is it that your humanity only matters when you're a black person in certain countries in Europe, including England to an extent when you play football? Why must there be a qualifier that you have talent to be treated with respect? So I'm very glad that he took it on the chin and performed well for Getafe, and hopefully continue to soar and get the hell out of there, because when you have a team president trying to almost defend your statements and say you should stay in Spain long enough before you make comments, as if you don't know what you heard yourself as a black man. So very disappointed by the Getafe president, but hopefully Uche has a sensational year and can get himself out of the Madrid club. And then Omar Sadiq was not in the squad for Real Sociedad, and he did not play over the weekend. So good luck to him. We'll see how Real Sociedad play on Thursday in the Europa League when they play Anderlecht at home, and then Atletico Madrid at home on Sunday. In Ligue 1, George Lenny Kenna played 23 minutes as Monaco beat Montpellier 2-1 on Saturday. Next up for them, he'll be in action in the Champions League on Wednesday away to Dynamo Zagreb. And then also they play Rennes away on Saturday in the league. At the moment, Monaco are neck and neck with PSG, and it'll be nice to see another team, you know, try and win the title again, since Lille did it a few seasons ago. Nantes, Moses Simon's team are currently flying in Ligue 1. They're currently 7th. He played 90 minutes in their 2-2 draw against Saint Etienne. They're probably disappointed to draw against Saint Etienne, considering Saint Etienne got packed 8-0 the week before. But anyway, Simon continues to play well. He's probably a Nantes legend at this point. Remember, he won the French Cup a few seasons ago for them as well. But next up for them, they go away to Lyon, so that's going to be a pretty tasty game against Gift Urban's team. Speaking of Gift Urban, he played 19... He was benched in their 2-0 win against Olympiacos on Thursday in the Europa League, and then he was not in the squad in their 2-1 win over Toulouse on Sunday. So I'm not sure if he's slightly injured, but we'll monitor that one. Let's see if he plays in the Europa League against Rangers. It'll be him against Ciro Dezers on Thursday, and then let's see if he's in action against Moses Simon's Nantes at home on Sunday. As for Akko Adams, his good form continues for Montpellier, even though the team are struggling in 16th. He started and got an assist in their 2-1 loss against Monaco on Saturday, but he continues to get his goal contributions. In an ideal situation, Taiwo Awoniyi and Iheanacho will not be called up for the Super Eagles, let's be honest. So we know Boniface and Osimhen will always be called up, but when you think about strikers performing well right now, you have to say Akko Adams has a bit of a shout to be called up for the national team. So let's see what everyone will do, but I will not be surprised if Awoniyi and Iheanacho are there, because some things with Nigeria, they don't follow form. But anyway, continue doing your thing, Akko Adams, and keep shining. And then Gabriel Osho played 90 minutes as Auxerre won 3-0 over Brest. Really good performance. Remember, Brest are currently playing in the Champions League this season, and they play Saint Etienne away on Saturday. So hopefully Auxerre could get some more points on the board, as they currently lie in 12th place. For Lens, Hamza Ojediran is currently injured, but let's see if he shakes it off to play against Strasbourg away on Sunday. And then finally, Victor Orakpo played 16 minutes for Nice in the Europa League 1-1 draw against Real Sociedad on Wednesday, and then he was benched for their 0-0 draw against Lens on Saturday. Let's see if he gets some minutes away to Lazio on Thursday in the Europa League, and then Nice have a very, very tricky tie on Sunday when they host PSG. So that's it in terms of the top 5 leagues. So just moving on to the non-top 5 leagues in Europe, starts with the Premier Liga, where we have Bruno Onyemachi. He played 90 minutes on Sunday as Boavista lost 1-0 to Santa Clara on Sunday. Funny enough, Santa Clara are actually 4th in the Portuguese league so far, so they're kind of the ones hanging with the big boys so far, but Boavista continue to struggle, and they're currently in the relegation zone in 16th. Next up for them, they play Vitória de Guimarães away on Sunday. So this is a very good example of what I try to explain to people. Like, yes, Onyemachi plays well for sometimes for the national team, but he's playing for a team that's 16th in Portugal. Like, that's not good enough. I'm sorry. Like, either keep playing well and move somewhere, but we'll continue to monitor you. Anyway, In Belgium, Tella Arokodare again continue to remain first in the league. Him and Sorbo started the game on Saturday as they beat Kiwi Mechelen 2-1. Next up for them, they play Kotrejik away on Saturday, so let's see if they keep up the good performance. As for Royal Antwerp, who are in second place, Victor Udo came on in 69th minute as Royal Antwerp's 5-0 win over Bassey on Sunday. The game was actually suspended 6 minutes after he came on when it was still 4-0 because the Bassey fans started throwing fireworks onto the field. So Bassey decided to forfeit the game, and as a result, Royal Antwerp won 5-0. So next up for them, they play Cercle Bruges at home on Sunday. As for Ghent have moved up to third place. Jordan Torunariga played 90 minutes in their 2-1 loss to Cercle Bruges on Thursday, and then he was benched in a 3-0 win over Leuven on Sunday. I wanted to call this out because Ghent play Chelsea on Thursday in the UEFA Conference League. So hopefully Torunariga starts and he could at least show himself and come away with a very good performance. So let's see. And then they play St. Truden away on Sunday. As for Onyedika's Club Bruges, man, they couldn't have a bit of an indifferent start. These are the champions last year who finished first and romped to the league. They're currently fourth. Onyedika played 55 minutes and got sent off yet again. That's already his second red card of the season. In their 1-1 draw against Sporting Charleroi on Friday, which is where Osimhen revived his career after leaving Wolfsburg all those years ago. Next up for Onyedika anyway, he'll be in action in the Champions League away on Wednesday to Sturm Graz of Austria. And then, of course, he's suspended for Club Brugge home game against Union Saint-Gilloise on Sunday before he comes up to join the national team. In Turkey, star player Victor Osimhen finally, well, before I get into what he finally did, in the Europa League, he got an assist in Galatasaray's 3-1 win over PAOK on Wednesday. Very good performance again. And then over the weekend, he played 45 minutes and scored 2 goals to finally get off the mark for the Istanbul Giants. It was his first 2 goals for his new side after a few close shaves so far. So obviously, he's taken to life in Turkey like a dog to water, and he's doing very, very well. He came off at halftime as precaution, so just want to monitor in terms of injury. Let's see if he plays in the Europa League on Thursday when they go away to RSF, and then they've got a home tie against Alanyaspor at home on Sunday before we all break for the international break. As for Osai Samuel and Fenerbahce, he returned from injury on Thursday, which was nice to see. Came on in 65th minute and got a yellow card. And then another one in the 90th minute. So he got sent off in their 2-1 win over Union Saint-Gilloise. So he's going to be suspended for their game against FC Twente away on Thursday. And he was not in the squad in their 2-0 win over Antalyaspor on Sunday. So let's see if he gets back for Fenerbahce's next league game, which will be against... actually... They don't have a game over the weekend, so I'm not sure why that is, but let's see if Osai plays. Well, he's not going to play because he's suspended anyway for 20. So, Osai, wrap yourself in cotton wool, please, and come back to the national team, please. We need you. So, Aina could actually play left back for us. Adebayo may played. He started his Trabzonspor beat Konyaspor 3-2 on Sunday. Next up for them, they play Hatayspor on Saturday. Kenneth Mero played 60 minutes. He came on in 30th minutes in that 3-3 draw against Galatasaray. Oh, I forgot to say, even though Galatasaray, Osimhen scored 2, Galatasaray somehow drew 3-3 against Kasim Pasa. Shocking result. But anyway, Omero was in action in that game. Good to see him finally get some minutes after being on the bench for a minute. And then next up, they played Bodrumspor at home on Saturday. And then finally, David Okereke played 90 minutes as Gaziantep lost 3-2 to Eyüpspor on Sunday. Next up for them, they played Besiktas, which should be quite a tasty game on Sunday. In the Scottish League, Cyril Dessers played 90 minutes while Balogun was a new sub in the Europa League as Rangers beat Malmo 2-0 on Thursday. I must say, Dessers missed so many chances, man. My God. This guy is not efficient in front of goal. Like, you guys know my thoughts on Dessers. I respect him, but like I always say, small team bully. If you see some of the chances he missed, oh my God, it's not a surprise that Rangers put him on the bench over the weekend in their 1-0 of Hibernian because, my God, his conversion rate needs to drastically improve. But anyway, they won the game, and let's see if he gets some minutes when they play Lyon at home on Thursday in the Europa League, and then they play St. Johnston at home on Sunday. In Czech Republic, Igor Ubomi Slavia Prague's 2-0 win over Ludogorets on Wednesday. And then they also played in a 4-0 win over Bohemians. He was taken off in their last game anyway, so it looks like he's injured, and we're just hoping that he recovers speedily. I don't think he'll be in action when they play Ajax in the Europa League on Thursday, but let's see. And then it's the big derby, Slavia Prague versus Sparta Prague on Sunday in the league. Speaking of Sparta Prague, Victor Olachinji played 71 minutes and scored a brilliant goal in Sparta Prague's 3-2 loss to Sigma Olomouc on Friday, which means they're now second and Slavia Prague are first. But if you remember, Olachinji scored in his first ever Champions League game and got a brilliant assist last week. So let's see if he could keep up the good form when Sparta Prague go away to Stuttgart away on Tuesday. That's going to be a very, very tough game for them. And then as if that's not hard enough, he would then play Slavia Prague away on Sunday. So we wish him all the best. As for Peter Olayinka, he was not in the squad as Red Star Belgrade beats Železnikar Panek-Sevo on Friday. But I wanted to call him out because he's playing in the Champions League in action against Inter Milan away tomorrow. Let's see if he plays or if he's injured. I'm not sure, but we'll monitor for sure. And then they play FK IMT Belgrade away on Sunday. And then in the PSL, Olisa Unda's Orlando Pirates won Polokwane City 3-0. But he was not in the squad for their weekend game as they beat Richards Bay 1-0 in the league. Next up for them, they play Stellenbosch in the MTN 8 Cup. As for Stanley Nwabali, Chippa United are currently 4th in the PSL. He played 90 minutes and made 5 saves in their 1-1 draw against Sekukune United on Wednesday. And then he made a further 3 saves as they beat TS Galaxy 2-1 on Sunday. Next up for Nwabali and Chippa United, they play Lamont Vale Golden Arrows at home on Saturday. And then finally, I just wanted to highlight Elvis Isaac, who plays for Slovan Bratislava. Not because he's playing for them like that. He was not in the squad for either of their last 2 games. But Slovan Bratislava are in the Champions League. Their next game is tomorrow against Man City. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets any minutes and is able to make a contribution against probably the best team in the world. Star Boy of the Week, as usual, podium positions. In bronze, I have to give it to Uche for finally scoring his first La Liga goal, which was a winner for Sevilla on Tuesday in the 85th minute. He also followed that up with a pretty good performance over the weekend, so shout out to you, Uche. Most dribbles completed in the whole of Europe in the top 5 leagues is no mean feat. So keep up the good work and hopefully we'll see you in the next Nigeria squad. Silver medal, Fisayo Dele Bashiru, 1 goal and 1 assist in his Europa League debut. Clinical goal as well, as I said, and fantastic assist. Forget the fact that he didn't play over the weekend. He announced himself to the world and did spectacularly. But it brings me so much pleasure to say our gold star boy for this week is our star player, Victor Osimhen. Finally scoring again off the mark for Galatasaray and did it with the brace in their 3-3 draw against Kasimpasa. But from him, he got 2 goals in 45 minutes to go along with the assist he got in the Europa League against PAOK on Thursday. So just brilliant, man. So Victor Osimhen, we already know you're a star man, not even star boy. But keep up the good work and you're the star boy of the week. Just to round up the podcast with the ones to watch for the weekend. Tomorrow in the Champions League, we've got Boniface and Tella's Leverkusen against Chukwueze's Milan. We've got Peter Olayinka's Red Star Belgrade going to San Siro to play Inter Milan. We've got Elvis Isaac Slovan Bratislava hosting Man City, so let's see if he plays in that one. On Wednesday, George Lenikena's Monaco go away to Dynamo Zagreb in the Champions League, and then we'll see Rafael Onyedika's Club Brugge in action away to Sturm Graz. On Thursday, we've got a bunch of Nigerian players all in the Europa League. Fisayo Dele Bashiru's Lazio plays Nice's Victor Rapko. Kevin Akpoguma's Hoffenheim are in action against Dynamo Kiev at home. Omar Sadiq's Real Sociedad are in action at home against Anderlecht. And then we'll see Ciro Des's Leon Balogun's Rangers host Lyon's Gift Urban. And then we'll see Victor Osimhen's Galatasaray go away to RSF. Also, Brighton side Samuel's Fenerbahce in action against FC Twente away. And then we'll see Igbokwe, if he's fit, play at home against Ajax. In the Conference League, as I mentioned, Jonathan Rodriguez Ghent go to Stamford Bridge to play Chelsea. So that's it in terms of European games. And as I always tell you, there's quite a few of our players in the Europa League, but also good to see we have 9 players in the UCL this season. In the weekend's fixtures, we see Alex Iwobi and Calvin Bassey's Fulham go away to the Etihad Stadium. That's going to be a tough fixture, but Fulham look very formidable this season. Aribo, Southampton come to the Emirates to play against Arsenal. That's going to be a terrible fixture for Southampton. Although, remember, the last time Southampton won the Premier League, Arsenal, we did not beat them in our 2 games, home and away against them, which contributed to Arsenal winning the league in the 22-23 season. And then on Sunday, we see Aina and Taiwo Winnie's Nottingham Forest go away to Stamford Bridge. And then Gift Urban's Lyon hosting Moses Simon's Nantes. And then Victor Rakpo's niece will be in action at home against PSG. So let's see if he gets any minutes. In Nigerian news, Osneguavon remains in charge interimly for the Nigeria Super Eagles for AFCON qualifiers against Libya. The Super Falcons also have a temporary manager in Justin Magudu, who will lead the Super Falcons until they get a permanent manager. This means that both of our national senior teams have temporary managers at the moment. And please anticipate the squad announcement for the Super Eagles, which we expect to come at any point this week. That's it for this episode of the podcast. Thanks again for rocking with me. It's been a real pleasure to get back to updating on all the performances. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube, and follow us on all our social media channels, which is Nigeria Football Weekly everywhere except on Twitter, where it's at NFWPOD. Next week's episode will come slightly later just because I'm away, but I will make sure I get it to you probably on Wednesday next week. Until next time, peace out and keep supporting the Super Eagles and enjoy all the games to come. Yeah. Take care, and our next episode will, of course, be a preview of our AFCON qualifiers against Libya. So take care and peace out. Ciao, ciao. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell to get a notification whenever we drop a video. You can also find our social media channels listed below. And of course, up Super Eagles and Nigeria, they ever carry last.